Hello, and welcome to or back to the Funfiltered podcast. I'm Sam, and I'm joined as ever by Jordan.
On Radio Funfiltered, apparently.
Yeah, thought I'd do that for a change.
Yeah.
Imagine if we did every show like that.
We're constantly speaking like this.
Yeah, well, you know, Dan from Exeter sent in a funny little email. I'll read to you right. Yeah. Should we do that?
No.
Okay. Okay, well, it's going to be a bit of a weird episode today, I think. A lot of disconnected chunks.
Okay.
I want to start off by talking about how late you always are. Because I feel like we've discussed each other quite a bit on the podcast.
I gave you my reason.
I just saw it.
Right, okay.
You were already half hour late by that point.
No, I wasn't.
Were you not?
No. I sent it at 20 past. I was supposed to be here at half past.
The message did not come through.
Okay. Well, it's not my fault.
Well, it is. It's still your fault you're late, but you know.
No, it's not my fault that you saw the message later than you were supposed to.
No, that's not. But the lateness is still your fault, isn't it? You know, just, you know.
It was a queue.
Are we going to pretend this is a fluke?
No, but I have reasons. This is the thing.
You never have reasons.
I always have reasons.
Never have reasons.
I always have reasons.
I have known Jordan for the better part of a decade. And, you know, we have been meeting each other. So we used to meet in Ponty, the little town, to just amble about aimlessly and discuss things. Unfailingly, you were late. Every time.
I don't think so.
Oh, I know so.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't believe that for a second.
Lack of punctuality is a lot more palpable when you have to just stand waiting to meet somebody outside a cheap product store. Do you know, you feel every minute when you have to just stand waiting for somebody. And then, you know, 45 minutes have passed, the meeting time, the scheduled meeting time.
That is...
And then you get a message saying, I'm going to be late.
That is rare. It's usually
45 minutes is, I would say half hour is a good standard.
Like 5-10 minutes.
That is bollocks. That is complete
rubbish.
bullshit. If anyone looking to employ Jordan, you need to know that is rubbish. That he is never if Jordan is late, it is late with purpose.
Right.
It is half an hour, 40 minutes late. And I've tried various tactics over the years to try and curb your lateness. I think it was a point when we were maybe 17, 18 where I punched you for every minute you were late.
Yes.
Yeah. I give you a whack for every minute you were late.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
I just ended up being later because I had to mentally prepare for what was going
for the abuse. When you started coming over the house, I think there was a point where if you were over 5 minutes late, I just wasn't going to open the door to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do, really. I don't know what to implement. I think what I might start doing, not you know, punishing you necessarily, more keeping a tally, a list of all the minutes.
Right.
Because I would say by this point in our relationship, we've missed weeks of interpersonal content.
Right.
So, I don't know, like in a year's time or 2 years' time, I'll show it to you and go, this is what we could have achieved.
Okay.
With the time that we were doing nothing.
Right.
Where we could have been.
We could have watched a whole 2 more episodes.
Well, that's the thing.
Boardwalk
I say that knowing that that's what we do with most of our time anyway. But I think when you see it on paper, it's like using a debit card, a contactless debit card, and giving over cash, isn't it? There's a market.
You feel the difference.
Yeah.
By handing over cash.
That came up yesterday. I was talking to my father, right, and his side of the family is very Ronda.
Okay.
If you're not from this area,
yes.
How would you? I'm going to thrust it on you. How would you define that? They're from the Ferndale area, Tyler's town, like deep in the Ronda. There's barely Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's like the Wild West a little bit. Old like saloons and. It feels distinctly unmodern. Yeah. Like Ponty isn't cutting edge, but it does feel a little bit more.
Well, when compared to like Ferndale and stuff, definitely. Yeah. Like we were in was it Mountain Ash a little while ago for like a day or two, and we were in like a pretty nice location. We were in like a pretty nice house, pretty modern, pretty big house. Yeah. And there was like no signal up there.
Yeah, zero.
Genuinely no signal.
Yeah.
It's like I thought we were past this.
I know. You know? Yeah, and the people that walk around, they don't look like the city people. I mean, whenever we've been to London, we've been struck by the apparent ubiquity of attractive women walking around.
Yeah.
And obviously,
all the 9s and all the 10s, they live in London.
They all live in London.
Yeah.
You know, you get some in the city. Obviously, the city's a good eclectic mix of people in Cardiff. But then when you come, Ponty's a bit better, but when you go to the far reaches, to the deliverance zones. people start to resemble kind of livestock.
Right. Okay.
They do. They just look like life has not treated them well. You know, like kind of sentient slugs.
I thought it was supposed to be on me. You've taken it upon yourself.
I have,
now.
yeah. Well, I had to think it through.
Okay.
But go on, yeah, carry on then. How would you addend?
No, that sounds...
That sounds right. Yeah.
Just insect people.
Mutant tails have eyes sort of thing.
Yeah.
I say that having hailed from these provinces.
Yeah, having family that are insect people.
My family on my father's side are a bit more like that. And his brother, he lives alone now, but his house is a pigsty and not untidy. It's basically unlivable. Right? And a couple of years ago, my father took it upon himself to completely sort out that house, fix all the damp problem, completely do it out. To the point where, the person living there could just... It would never be an effort to clean anymore. Like, you make a mess, tidy it up. You never have to, because I think they got to the point of inertia where the problem was so overwhelming.
Yeah,
it's like, well, you can't even start anyway. Yeah. So they used to wash their dishes in the bath.
Right.
Because the sink didn't work.
I see.
The tap, I assume. Just the sink doesn't work anymore. Yeah, and we were talking about that, and apparently his brother has a thing where if you kind of clean something to basic perfection and everything's in its right place and there's a decent feng shui going on, he has to move something to make it imperfect.
Right.
He has to fuck it up somehow.
He's the anarchist of the family,
I said it's like the Joker, there has to be chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not even... I said, what was it, to stamp his own personality on the decor? It's like, no, it's just to mess with you. It's just that you might notice it and go, why have you done that? And he'll find that amusing.
Right. That seems a bit like I'm making assumptions about him, obviously. Yeah. That he's not an intelligent man.
He's really not.
But that doesn't...
But I want to say, before you dive too deeply into that...
Okay.
I think he probably has learning difficulties.
Oh, okay.
So it's he's of an age where that wouldn't have been diagnosed.
I see.
Child.
Okay. No, I was going to say that seems like a very not intellectual thing to do.
Yeah, it's like a very cerebral kind of. I'm going to mess with you.
Well, you'd think that, if I'm going to mess with someone, I want them to know instantly. I want it to be obvious what I've done. But the fact that he's stealthily...
Yeah, some female shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one day they'll notice what I've done and then I'll be amused then.
Yeah. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
But the reason I brought it up is because he has a water meter. This is so pedestrian.
Okay.
He's got a water meter now instead of a fixed rate water thing. But even though if he used as much water as humanly possible, he would be paying less than he did a few months ago.
Okay.
He now can't use water. Because I guess he sees it, the topping up. So when he has a bath, it's literally just a puddle that he kind of
Right.
He picks the water and kind of, dampens himself. But doesn't fill a bath. I think doesn't use a toilet as much as it should be used.
Right.
Will pee a few times and then...
I see, okay.
Flush. And my father couldn't comprehend that. I said, well, I sort of get that. It's the contactless cash thing. Now he can see how much he's using.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to use any.
Yeah.
So I understand that. I don't think that's a kind of neurosis or psychotic thing.
Well,
it is, but a kind of common neurosis.
Okay, I can see how much water I'm using, but I need that water. So
I do need the water. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit weird. But yeah, so I think I'm going to start keeping a count of the time that we are missing.
Right, okay.
Together.
How many podcasts could we have...
exactly, yeah.
Could we have recorded?
Well, the next episode will be our anniversary podcast.
Oh, shit.
It'll be our 1 year anniversary podcast.
36 episodes.
Yeah, I know, that's annoying. That is annoying.
Strange
Could
number.
be the 40th. Or,
not the 40th, not the 50th, not the 52nd.
No.
Because we weren't able to go weekly. We weren't going to go weekly from the beginning, were we?
It was going to be... I think it started off monthly.
Oh, was that the idea?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Certainly with the other podcast we did.
Yeah.
And then I think that became bi-weekly, or die-weekly. I never know.
Yeah, well, it means both, right?
Yeah. Fortnightly.
Fortnightly, yeah.
And then became weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does keep accelerating downwards in that sense. To the point where I keep saying to you all the time, how much are you editing out of these podcasts? And you're minutes now. Where it used to be significant chunks of a whole topic.
I was going to say, we cut whole topics. It does make me a bit suspicious. Before, it was, we would cut like large topics. If there's something wasn't really working or if we didn't like the order or something, it's like, right, get rid of the whole thing. We got to get this under 2 hours. Do you remember that?
Yes.
2 hours was like too much.
Yes.
And now it's just a case of like, like maybe 5 minutes will go from like this 3 hour podcast.
I think it's a bunch of things, isn't it? I think it's principally, well, we're obviously becoming more indulgent the more we do it. I think there's also, you start off with all these ideals about it's going to be 2 hours long, and that's going to make people listen to it. And when it became clear that wasn't making people listen to it.
People weren't listening.
It doesn't matter
like,
now. We just do what we want.
Yeah, say what we want to say.
3 hours long, 4 hours long, who gives a shit?
It does make me a bit suspicious, though. Naturally, if you're going to podcast a bunch, you're going to get better at it.
And you're going to get better at it. That's the other thing.
Yeah, but are we?
I think so.
Like how we, in the space, I know it's been nearly a year now. But yeah, in the space of like 35 episodes, we've gone from cutting, I think it was like an hour and a half we cut from the first episode.
Yeah.
And now the last episode that just came out, we cut like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what's leading me to say to you all the time, we're radio ready. We're radio. Let's just be on the radio. Ready. I would love doing that, having like a daily or weekly radio show.
You think? We were going to do that at university.
We were, and we nailed it, didn't we? We nailed it the first...
I think we did.
Our audition.
I remember the idea, I think, was that I was going to be the host, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And then you were going to...
expand.
Yeah, I was the host, you were the guest, you were the talent.
The talent, okay. Was that the idea?
Well, that's not what happened.
Our idea for the show or for the audition?
Well,
because I don't think we knew they were going to do that to us. I feel like we went in to talk to the people about it. Yeah. And they said, all right, do a show now, basically.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
I say for anyone who doesn't know, no one would know because it never became a thing.
No.
The idea that we were going to do a radio show, and obviously there are certain trappings that come with that.
A university radio show.
A university radio show, yeah. And obviously you have to stop like music breaks and I think taking calls was part of it. I'm not entirely sure.
That's what I kind of would love to do.
Okay.
The thing that's missing from this for me is an interactive element.
Right.
Either with callers or with... I'd love to play songs between our little links.
Right.
But like all the pressure will be off, wouldn't it? You talk for like 5 minutes and then you play a song.
It is less intimidating than just looking at the counter going like, when do we stop? Like an hour has passed, 2 hours have passed, I don't know. But yeah, we were going to do a radio show where we were going to like pit 2 films or 2 TV shows up against each other, right?
Yes.
And because this is something we used to do at Ponty. We were going to do like we were going to compare like the directing and the writing and basically try and quantify which is the better thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we grew up and realized that's stupid.
Yes.
You put Scott Pilgrim and The Dark Knight against each other. It doesn't matter which one has the better writing or the better directing. You know, they both have merits. They're both good.
Yes.
It shouldn't be one or the other.
No.
But I think it was the Dexter series finale and the Breaking Bad series finale. That was
they were on the same night.
They were on the same night, yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, because I think the idea was I was going to host, because I was the one who brought the idea to you.
Okay.
Because I was approached.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, all right, we'll give it a go. Yeah. Something to do during uni.
Yes.
So like they were like, and go.
Yeah.
And I said nothing.
Didn't you?
No. But you jumped in so quickly, it sounded deliberate.
Okay.
But I froze. I completely froze.
I don't remember that. I remember like...
I can only thank you that your ego was such that you just, I guess I'm obviously the host, so I'm just going to start speaking.
It would have, trust me, it would have been a deer in the headlights then, because I know for a fact we didn't go in thinking we were going to have to audition like that.
Yeah.
We thought they were going to ask us about what kind of show we wanted to do.
Yes.
I suppose we should have anticipated it, really. But they just said...
Yeah, you might want to test the talent before you just throw them on the radio.
And they did. They said, okay, your show starts now, go. Yeah. We had to do it. So it was purely, okay, my impulse, I don't think it's an egoic thing, is if there's a silent room where conversation's expected, I feel compelled to say something. That's always been in school and university. I feel that pressure most distinctly, I suppose.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wouldn't have been, fucking fuck off, George. I'm taking over.
Well, no, it's a good thing you did, because I would have just
Can you remember how it went then, at all?
We didn't talk for long. It was basically...
I remember we were hunched. I remember feeling something, we were like just talking like that.
Yeah, exactly, Just our necks were just folding into our bodies. No, I remember I gave the game away because you were like, we're going to compare the Breaking Bad finale and the Dexter finale. And I just went, Dexter finale was terrible. That's immediately like, this is our conclusion. Yeah. You don't have to listen to the show now.
What was it? It must have been just like 5-10 minutes.
I think so. It was basically until your first music segment.
Right.
And they're like 10-15 minute intervals anyway.
And it went fairly organically, as I remember.
Well, I mean,
there was no silence.
We had the benefit of, like, even back then, we'd known each other for less time than we do now.
Mm-hmm.
But I always feel like we've had a good back and forth.
Repartee, yeah.
Yeah, we got good, exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think is... Because I don't know if it's the same for you, but I've had that a couple of times where people have said, like, oh, how long have you known Sam? And I've said, like, 8 years, 10 years, however long it's been. They're like, really? We thought you knew each other much longer.
Than 10 years?
Yeah, we thought you were like childhood friends, basically.
Okay.
I think because of how comfortable we are around each other, how natural we are.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's weird. I suppose it stops after a certain age, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a function of my own experience, but when you get to your 20s, it's not as easy to form those kinds of relationships.
Yes.
I suppose you're less concerned on your friendships than you are on your romantic relationships.
Well, I think we're past the point where you make like friends.
Yeah.
I think we're at the age now where the significant relationships you're gonna form are.
We've got them already.
Yeah. In terms of friendships, we've got them already. But they're like your work colleagues and your wife.
Yeah.
Those are the two big relationships we have left to forge.
Yes.
You know, because we have neither girlfriends or jobs.
No. No, we don't.
Yeah. But yeah, like I've never really been able to, sorry to the people I've worked with before, but I've never really been able to relate when you see like things on social media saying like, oh, I'd die for my work colleagues. I wouldn't be able to get through my job without them.
Yeah, how sincere is that though, I think?
Yeah.
I worked in Wetherspoons briefly, and there was that. There's that spoons,
everyone sleeps with each other.
Everyone sleeps with each other. But there's a lot of backbiting and a lot of slagging off, but I never became part of the Spoons family.
Okay.
I don't think they ever thought of me as one of them. I was definitely, for good reason. I mean, I didn't really bother.
Yeah.
And I was bad at my job. So
I do wonder, I feel like I've seen it from older people though, as well. Where they've sort of said, oh, I rely on my work colleagues to get me through. But then again, a lot of the time it is people who are like 18 to, 20s.
Yeah.
So they're working like McDonald's and Wetherspoons and like genuinely shitty jobs.
Yeah.
In which they're just intense and the pay is low and the respect is... There's no respect amongst
And that kind of forges a camaraderie.
Yeah. It's like we are in this hell together.
Yeah, it's like a war thing, isn't it?
But if you're like working in an office...
Yeah.
There's probably... It's still oppressive in its own way.
Oh, yeah.
But...
Well, you have to entertain each other, I think, in an office.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you're already dead inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think any group large enough is going to have that level of insincere, oh yeah, we're a family, while also talking about everyone behind everyone else's backs.
Yes.
I've experienced that. I've done it. I mean, let's not, we're not above that. Everyone does it. But I think that's why, for me anyway, you end up with like 5 friends in the world.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be part of things. I've always been suspicious of groups anyway. I don't like being part of groups. Oh, you should join this film society. No, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of being part of a group in that way. My experience has been my social life has largely been governed by a mutual friend of ours. Whatever he was doing, we would kind of be part of that group kind of thing. And my experience has been each step on his journey, of his little groups of people, new cadres, I've extracted one from each,
Cherry pick the best, or just, I guess this is the one that I'm, it's luck of the draw.
Well, it's that Louis C.K. thing, isn't it? It's like you when the shit hits the fan, you know who your real friends are.
Yeah.
And they're never the cool ones.
Yeah.
They're your real friends.
Yeah.
Eddie. Sorry, Eddie.
God, he's been gone so long, even your shit talking him at this point. There's so much distance now. It's like, we're never going to have to deal with him again.
I mean that genuinely in an entirely positive way, in the sense that the friendships that don't require questioning. I'd never had to worry about my friendship with Eddie.
Yeah.
Not a single...
Yeah.
Even when we've argued, it's like, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be okay. Yeah. I guess those are your real friends, aren't they? Where it's like, no matter what the damage is, it can be repaired. Yeah. And you'll move on from it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I do mean that entirely positively.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, cool, we've talked about before. It's a transitory thing, isn't it? Well,
yeah, you seem to have a very... I don't know. I mean, your understanding of cool is not everybody else's understanding of cool. Definition, I should say. You have a different definition of cool.
Well, how would you define cool?
Well, people, like, there's an image of cool, isn't there? And I know this is a very specific example of cool.
Yes.
But, like, our mutual friend that you referred to, he probably dresses in a way that he thinks... I think most people think would cool.
Right.
You know, leather jackets, torn jeans, sunglasses, tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of, like, oh, that's a cool guy. I think you said as well, didn't you? You had an image of yourself when you were in school of when you were, like, older.
Yeah.
Like, this, you were going to be an actor at that point, I think. Or,
this is, like, 6-7 years old.
Yeah.
It's primary school.
And you were, you had, like, slick back black hair.
No, I had spiky black hair.
Oh, spiky black hair.
Sunglasses and a black leather jacket.
Yes.
I basically, I think I kind of envisioned myself as Tommy, what was his surname? Tommy Oliver, one of the Power Rangers.
Right.
He was in like the original...
That is, when you're that age, that is
exactly.
cool. That is the definition of cool.
He was in the original series. He was one of the first ones and he had like a ponytail.
Yeah.
And then he came back 10 years after to be like the mental character.
Right.
To a new group. And that... I think I was at an age where that look then appealed to me.
Okay.
Spiky hair, you know, you could do jujitsu and stuff. Yes, that was my image of cool. No, my definition is not distinct from the traditional definition. Whenever I see something that I know would be considered cool, I recognize it as such. It's not that I think different things are cool than other people do. I disagree with the concept of cool. I don't know what it means.
Okay.
And it kind of, it's paper thin and it kind of evaporates on contact with air as well.
You say that a lot.
I do say that a lot.
I just realised that's another one of your...
Yes, I know. I knew as I said it.
Yeah. Your argue the toss.
Yes. My argue the toss.
That's your argue the toss. Yeah. What is the standard definition of cool to which you are referring? When somebody
the kind of cool I disagree with, that I take against.
Yeah.
I mean, it changes as you get older, doesn't it? I mean... Yeah, cool, I guess traditionally it's... A spy is cool.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, but you can't... That is cool. You can't take that away from them.
No, but I mean, like...
Spies are cool.
A kind of prototypical example of cool suave would be James Bond.
Yeah, but that's suave, though. James Bond is suave.
Yeah, well, he's suave and he's cool, isn't he?
Okay. I mean, he's cool when he's doing a thing. When he's just being, he's suave.
A guitarist in a rock band is cool.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know it when you see it. Cool, but that's the thing, the words become so denuded. Cool is just I acknowledge that as good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't take against that. But just the concept of cool. Being drawn to anything that's cool, I find kind of repulsive.
Right, okay.
Because it doesn't last. By definition, it will not last.
Is it like, I say it's your equivalent, but you believe this as well, but like falling for a girl just for her looks. It's like, well, her looks will...
Well, exactly.
Yeah, they won't last.
Yes. So, shared values is the thing.
I mean, her brain won't last either.
Nothing lasts.
Or any other part of her.
Yeah.
But I'd say, generally speaking, the looks are the first thing to go, right?
I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah, in most cases.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, well, it depends what you mean.
Well, you know.
The sex is the first thing to go, isn't it?
Okay.
Not vanish, but that's the first thing you notice. Okay, now we're out of that.
Yeah.
The sexing.
We're out of the sex.
We're out of that all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a relationship now. Right. Okay. What else is there? What else is there?
Well, you're attractive. Maybe we should... Oh, fuck, we're not having sex.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I think that just happens, doesn't it? When you settle into a groove. Obviously, that has to stop. The honeymoon period has to stop. I always get a bit wary when it seems like couples that have been together for a long time are still in the honeymoon period. It's like, it's like Fargo. It's that whole Minnesota Nice thing. You know there's a seething rage underneath.
Hatred underneath.
It's going to break. If you watch Fargo, you know.
Yeah.
Minnesota Nice, it's going to crack. It's going to fragment. I've been rewatching Fargo.
Oh, in preparation for the fourth series.
Well, yes. I mean, it started now. But I started season 2 the same day season 4 started.
Okay.
It's a bit weird. I'm watching them in tandem. But there's that great line in the second season, Mike Milligan. He says to the main character of that season, I like you, Minnesota folks. He says, oh, we're nice people. He says, no, it's not that. He says, it's the way you're polite. The way you go about it, like you're doing me a favour.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so good. All these things, all things must pass. I have no idea where we started.
No. But that's good, right?
That is good.
That's what you want.
Yeah. cool, I suppose.
Yeah.
Never subscribed.
Yeah, that kind of superficial cool. I've seen loads of people like that at university.
Yeah,
but it's usually paired up with something else. So it's not just that they're cool; it's that they're blah blah blah. It's something like that. Like there was a girl that I went to university with. I spent a lot of time with her in my second year. She was French. Well, she was Polish French.
Right.
I think she was born in France, but she was Polish.
Okay.
She was quite funny, actually. I'm surprised. I'm disappointed that I haven't stayed friends with anybody. University was a fucking waste of time for me.
It basically was for me.
Yeah, but you've kept people.
Well, okay, yeah, I have. Yeah.
Like I haven't even kept people from uni. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
I was the one person in university where I would like go between all the groups. So I had the unique opportunity in the sense that I was like spending time with everyone.
Yeah.
Over the course of the 3 years, I spent time with everybody.
Yeah.
And no one stayed in touch.
But this was kind of a phenomenon that certainly used to exist back when the world was running. My social group would become our social group.
Yeah.
But it didn't work the same way with you.
No.
You didn't bring me to people or people to me.
Well, it's because all of the people I ended up with were dicks.
You must have liked them at some point.
Well, I liked them at some point, yeah. But there's like 3 people that I sort of, at the tail end of university, I sort of forged like a crazy partnership with.
Yes.
And they're all dicks, and it all ended badly.
Yeah.
But no, this French-Polish girl, yeah, what was funny about her was that she spoke English. She spoke like decent English. It was clearly it was just above broken English, you know, where she couldn't understand everything.
Yeah.
And she needed explanations.
Right.
But
sounds like Fidzy.
Oh yeah, a little bit, yeah. But she could like form a sentence.
Yeah.
You know, she could articulate to a degree.
Yes, yeah.
But she hated her accent.
Right.
And it was a very typical French accent. It was kind of like a...
Oh, I hate her accent then.
But no, it's when I say typical French accent, it's that typical like...
Oh.
No. It's like that female French accent where it's kind of... No, it's not as... not as bad as that.
Okay,
like the nice female French accent. They do exist, Sam. Don't give me that face.
I don't think I've heard it if that exists.
Okay.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but it was just that it was pleasant.
Like Melanie Laurent.
Yeah.
Laurent. Yeah. Laurent.
But yeah, it was pleasant to listen to, and she hated it.
Yeah.
So she would, if someone was speaking to her, she would try and talk like them.
Okay.
She would like replicate their accent.
Right.
And that seemed to extend to her also imitating objects.
Right.
So like there was like one time where we were coming back to university after like filming something, and we were crossing the road, and obviously the traffic lights beep at you as you're crossing the road, and she was just going beep, beep.
Okay. Okay.
Crossing the road. And I called her out. I was like, what were you doing that for? She was like, I don't like my accent.
Okay.
So I don't know how this helps you.
So she was trying to adopt the accent of the traffic.
Oh, the traffic light beep, yeah.
Was she French or did she have special needs?
Oh, what's the difference?
Said by a French person. What's the difference? We are all stupid.
But yeah, no, she was a very bohemian individual. Yeah. She hung out with bohemian friends.
They smoked weed.
Yes.
Okay.
And they lived in a house where they had like those like
Indian
kind of cloths hanging from
rugs on the wall.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Psychedelic.
Yeah, there was like a film that she
loves Rick and Morty. She absolutely loves Rick and Morty. I tell you that right now.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
I don't know.
Loves Rick and Morty. Likes Fleetwood Mac quite a lot.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she liked Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, she made a film where like her and her friends were like dancing around an oil drum fire, like
that's not French.
Hitting drums.
Okay.
No, but that's a bohemian thing, right?
The hippie,
hippie bohemian sort of thing. But yeah, she had bohemian friends. One of them was like a guy, hair and dreadlocks. He had a very like gruff, gravelly voice. Where it was sort of I can't even. My voice is so pathetic. I can't even do gruff, gravelly.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't like smoker gravelly.
Right.
It had that natural like grit to
it. Okay.
And he would just like, he came over one day and he was just like sitting on the sofa and he not really saying anything, but when he did say everything, everyone was clearly like hanging on his every word. Like he would probably be seen as cool.
Right.
Basically just because of his voice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, he was an attractive man in that kind of hippie attractive way where they're sort of like messy.
Yeah.
But there's an attractive person underneath that, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You know? She was the same. She had very big...
kind of manufactured mess. Almost.
Yeah, she had very big, messy hair, and all of her clothes were, like, secondhand as well.
Yeah.
But because there was an attractive woman underneath that, you accepted it.
Right.
Whereas if I went out looking like that, people would be like, where's it?
Get a job.
Go back to your cardboard box, you know? But yeah, like, I think this is more... I think this point was still about cool.
Yes.
I think we're still on cool.
Yes.
Yeah, he'd probably be seen as cool.
Yeah, okay.
Like, he's just sitting there not really saying anything, and then when he does speak, he speaks very little, but everyone, like, hangs on his every word, because that guy's cool, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, I just think there are very, very few people to actually like.
Yeah.
It's really...
there is that.
Everyone, yeah. I don't know. Well, I was going to ask you, we brought up relationships briefly, and you brought up wife. Where do you stand now on all that stuff?
What do you mean?
What's your relationship to relationships? What's your mindset?
Well, I wouldn't mind one if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't mind one. But like, does that form any significant part of your psyche?
Well, not at the moment because it's not happening.
Yeah.
That's the thing, I don't know. I've thought about that, whether I would be one of those people... Because people, like, they have different priorities, don't they? Obviously, that's a very silly statement because it's so obvious.
Right.
Yeah, but you need to make those statements sometimes to get to a different point.
Yeah, it's a foundational point.
Yeah, exactly. So I've always thought that, like, my career would be, like, editing. That would be the only thing that I care about. And obviously I would care about other things.
Yes.
I'd care about my friends. I'd care about my wife and my family and all that kind of stuff. But editing is the thing.
Yes.
That's the...
Editing is to Jordan as Sonic is to Jordan.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I would be one of those people who, as soon as I got like a girlfriend and it was like, oh, this is like a serious thing. Right, that's it now. That's my life now.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, you'd like to think you're not... I think we do. I don't know whether that's a common thing. I think for people like us, we would like to think we wouldn't be absorbed. We wouldn't be drowned in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would probably in the beginning anyway, because I think everybody does.
Course. Yeah.
It's like I said, a couple of episodes ago, I'm still playing Persona 5.
Yeah.
And I'm playing that, like, quite often.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I get to the end of that game, I'll probably never really pick it up again.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's new, it's something that I'm, like, sticking to.
Yeah.
So you have that with everything, where, like, if something's new and you're enjoying it, it's like, I will indulge in it. And then eventually, as you say, the honeymoon period ends. So it sort of goes to, now it's just another facet of my life.
But we are simultaneously cursed and blessed with the gift and, you know, the shit on the doormat that is, well, I don't know what the right word, I don't know if it can be summed up in one word, but as far as we see it, we have a destiny to do a certain thing.
Yeah.
We have a drive, a goal, that's outside the realm of just vaguely, well, I want a decent job and I want a family, and we don't have that. And that is absolutely not to demean that. I kind of
or to depress any future girlfriends.
Yeah.
If they listen back to this, it's like, oh, I guess I'm not important then.
I wouldn't say I admire it as much as I envy it. I wish I could just like, oh, the job don't matter. As long as you have a bit of money behind you.
Well, yeah, you could get things done then.
Get things done. But also, I personally, as a friend once said to me, I am not blessed with satisfaction.
Right.
Great little sentence. Just to say that for people like us who have a thing they want to do with their life, we would like to believe that we wouldn't be subsumed by a relationship. Whereas I think a lot of people would think, well, yeah, that's the point, isn't it? The point is to be subsumed into a relationship.
Yes.
That's not to say that any potential future romantic interest would be merely ornamental or an accessory. But yes, the point is that whenever I become involved with somebody, it kind of does take over. But you hate that about it. I do anyway. I hate that it becomes such a dominant force in your life.
Well, it depends if it stays a dominant force in your life.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, then you wouldn't mind. At least I don't think you wouldn't. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're like a year or two in and it's still like, oh, you're not spending all of your time with me.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I like you, but
I also
I also like other things.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I only ask because I've definitely arrived at a point where I really don't care anymore.
Oh, okay.
I know that sounds like denial, maybe. But I can't imagine ever giving a shit anymore about that.
I said to you a while ago, didn't I? And this is gonna... I don't know how this is gonna read to people. But I said to you that like when it comes to like a girlfriend or a wife, then we're at the age where like it feels like you have to say both.
I know. Yeah.
It's not just girlfriend anymore. Right, at what age?
We were at the age, but we aren't.
No, exactly, yeah. But yeah, it's like, you have to include wife now, because that's like At what age does having a girlfriend, like, you're too old for a girlfriend? What age is that, do you think?
To have
I mean, obviously anyone can have a girlfriend at any age. I think Leslie Nielsen never married his girlfriend. So right up until the end of his life, he had a girlfriend. But if someone says to you, I have a girlfriend or I have a boyfriend, at what point does it seem immature for them to say that?
I don't know. It definitely does have a juvenile a connotation to it.
I mean, because your mum has a boyfriend, right? So I don't know if that influences your answer at all. No,
I think my mother has always said partner.
Okay.
That feels more mature.
Yeah. Yeah, because boyfriend seems... I can imagine that seeming childish. Right? I have had that where, like, someone in, like, their 40s or 50s has said, I have a boyfriend. It's like, well, you're past boyfriend, surely.
Whenever I've heard Ricky Gervais, he's, like, he doesn't believe in marriage. He's been with his partner for, like, over 30 years. Maybe 40 years, I don't know. Whenever he's referred to her as his girlfriend, I detect a slight discomfort in having to say girlfriend.
Yeah.
I am a girlfriend, and he just kind of moves on.
Yeah.
I get it. But you just replace it with partner. Significant other is a bit unwieldy.
Yeah, and I think that is basically just wife, right? That's what significant other means.
Well, could be a long-term girlfriend. Okay. I think I first heard that in Only Fools and Horses. It's used because Del and Raquel, I don't think they ever marry. So he always calls her a significant other.
I see.
They have a child together and you know all that. Interesting.
But the point I was going to make was I said to you once that, like, when it comes to a girlfriend or wife or significant other or partner or insert word here.
Yes. Bitch.
Yeah.
We wonder.
Yeah.
We wonder why we're single.
There's obviously that expectation that, like, they're the person that you love the most. They're the person that you, like, have the most respect for, that you want to spend the most time with. That, like, all of that stuff is just inherent, and it's so strong when it comes to a partner. The other thing as well is that they, like, overtake your friends. Like, you have your partner and then you have your friends underneath that. Yeah. It's like, I can't picture that.
No.
At this point in my life, I can't, and this is why I said I didn't know how it would read. I can't imagine going out with a girl that I care about more than you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fundamentally, if you're being honest with yourself, beyond lust, because this is a terrible thing, and I mean,
well, yeah, that's the thing. She has the advantage of there's another dimension to our relationship that we can indulge in.
Yes,
which I obviously don't. Yeah, yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, of course, but it's a terrible thing to say. But I mean, no one who fits this description would be listening anyway. Any girl with whom I've been involved. I would be lying if I said I respected any of them.
Right, okay.
That's not to say that during the relationship I treated them like shit. I don't mean it in that sense. I mean,
or that any future relationship you would feel the same. Again, yes, for the future girlfriends that might be listening to this.
It's just to say that you just get wrapped up in... I mean, for me, it was purely that interest was shown.
Right.
Never had that all through school, and then as soon as it happened after, it's like, oh shit, I guess I like them then.
Yeah.
That happened a lot, but I think...
I think a lot of people... I've fallen into that trap.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Or to say that after the fact, when you think about it, I was like, oh yeah, I didn't really like... I wouldn't like them as people now.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It was that and that alone kind of thing. And that tarnishes... It puts a rosy hue on all the... You kind of assume that you respect. Oh yeah, we kind of fundamentally share the same values and things. And then when you think back, it's like, oh, we really didn't.
Yeah.
We really didn't. You just kind of pretended to yourself.
Who is this stranger that I spent time with?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's one of the most interesting, I think, psychological things about that, isn't it? After a breakup. It's like, it's a stranger now. It is a completely, lockdown.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your views?
It's back.
Yeah. Well, it never went away, did it? But
well, a bit.
Not really.
It went away a bit. It had to have gone away for a bit for things to be brought back in.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
You'd think.
If they were abiding a logical process.
Oh, right. This is you're going to be critical of the government now.
I'm going to be critical of the government, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think that when this all started, right, I was a few weeks early to the party, in the sense of another mutual friend of ours turned me on to this YouTuber who does like a 5-minute news thing every day where he talks about the news.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the virus in China when the West broadly wasn't.
Okay.
And he was saying, it's like past the point of no return now. Like, it's out now. Stock up on tin, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you just kind of one guy saying it, it's not. But then obviously it came to pass. So when it did kick in over here, and we knew nothing about it, I was very to the letter, right, okay, you follow the guidelines. You came over like once, and you said, I think I've had it.
Yeah.
And I remember like being really annoyed and thinking, you can't walk around with that assumption.
Yes, yeah.
Because I will not let you come here if you're just out about in the world. Like, really strict about it. And then, because I'm a human being, when you acquire more information, your approach changes. That's how the world should run.
Yeah.
We now know that the dirty secret about COVID is, if you have it, it's bad and it's killed a lot of people. But it's not as bad as we thought it was.
Okay.
It's nowhere near as bad as we thought it was in the beginning.
Right.
The death rate, this could have been, I know it's kind of a facile thing to say on some level, but this could have been 1,000 times worse.
Yeah.
It could have been a death rate of 2%. It could have been a lot more infectious.
I thought it was 3%.
A death rate?
Yeah.
I think it's lower than 1.
Okay.
Globally, I'm talking about now.
I mean, if I heard that figure, it would have been near the beginning of lockdown, so that could have been part of the... We genuinely don't know, like, how...
I think it's under 1%.
Okay.
And we will never even know the numbers because there are people who have had it that haven't even gone to the NHS or...
Yeah, exactly.
So it's almost certainly lower than we even think now. But we and America fucked it up totally.
Okay.
Sweden, if not the only, then one of the only countries in the world to not lock down, to apply a certain degree of social distancing measures, but basically let everyone crack on with it. And it's gone. It's not in Sweden anymore. I just don't know how the rest of the world can't follow that example, really.
Is it... were the government ever pressured in Sweden?
Pressured? By the people?
Yeah, to go into lockdown.
No, I think Sweden's a very kind of... I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they just thought, well, we'll try it this way.
Because in the beginning, it did seem like we were going in that direction with the UK, where it's like, okay, we're going to take precautions, but we kind of need to just carry on with everything,
Yeah.
Herd immunity, we can't, understate the importance of herd immunity. How are we going to achieve that if we lock down?
Yeah, exactly.
And then everyone complained and complained and complained. And then all of a sudden the government were like, oh yeah, actually turns out locking down is the way we're going to go.
Right.
So I don't know how much of that was just pressure from the general public.
Well, I think it's generally agreed that we had to do it in the beginning to flatten the curve. That was what we kept hearing.
Yes, so that the NHS wasn't overwhelmed.
Well, that's passed. We passed that. And we know a lot more about it. Obviously there's not a vaccine or anything yet. It won't be for another year probably.
Yeah.
At least. So... My approach now is this endless seesawing of, we're locking down, this county's locking down, this county's locking down. Oh, now we'll open up, but like with conditions.
Yeah.
And now it all but guarantees that the thing just keeps spreading. And like it stops and starts.
Yeah.
You need to just allow it to burn through. That's like my view at this point.
Have you seen all those memes online?
No,
of,
I haven't.
No, well, I'm telling you. Because we're in our local lockdown. Well, in most local lockdown. Most of Wales is locked down now, right?
Yeah, most counties.
Not all of it.
Yeah.
Some of it is still locked down.
Yeah.
That's confusing as well.
Yeah.
Like in cases where it's like, just Caerphilly, the increases, like there's a significant increase in cases, I can kind of understand that.
Kind of.
Because you're isolating Caerphilly from the rest of the country. But if most of the country is locked down, then why not just declare
a national lockdown?
Isn't London in lockdown now?
I think so, yeah.
And yet a lot of places still aren't.
Well, that's the kind of the
And I'm not saying that if London is locked down, then everywhere should be locked down. I just thought that they would do that.
You'd think, yeah. Well, the farce of it is that when you read, so our county's in lockdown. When you read the exceptions to the rule, it covers everything except you can't go on holiday and you can't go out and get pissed in a different county. Everything else, there's a way to worm your way out of it. I have a babysitter who's not in the county. Yeah, take this, fine, leave. It's just like the amount of things. And then when you read about masks that are supposed to be mandated, the conditions that can determine whether you don't have to wear a mask is endless.
I've seen a couple. I've been to, because I now have a mask.
Yes.
For the people who were worried because I didn't have a mask to go buy chocolate.
Yeah.
I now have a mask.
Okay.
But I've been in shops and I've seen like people walking around without masks.
Yeah, it's not a legal requirement.
Yeah.
And
mainly kids, in fairness. Adults and old people, they typically are always wearing masks, but still.
You can get that sunflower lanyard, that says that you don't have to wear a mask.
Okay.
But that's not like a doctor has to sign off on it. You can just buy those online.
Oh, right.
I've done it for my father.
Okay.
Because he has diabetes and high blood pressure.
Right.
He works with people with asthma and stuff. And it's just the mask is too much for them from 8 to 5 every day. So he's like, I just can't. I went, you don't have to. You don't have to. Literally. So I read up the list of people who are exempt. And I don't have to wear one because I've got asthma.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I go on a train, I don't have to wear one.
Okay. You'll get funny looks, though.
You get funny looks, yeah, but I mean, who cares? I mean, if someone comes up to you and says, why aren't you wearing a mask? They say, oh, I've got asthma. They can't do anything. The sunflower is just like a courtesy you extend to the rest of the world to say, yeah, look, I'm not just like taking the piss.
Yeah.
But everyone can take the piss. That's the thing about it. Like, my grandfather is every time I see him, he's like, don't the young people understand? You bloody youngsters, they're ruining everything.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, listen, I am always the first person to criticize my generation for pretty much anything. But you can't lay all the blame at the feet of young people.
No.
Especially when you consider the fact that our county went into lockdown. I think because a group of like rugby darts people or whatever went to Doncaster on a bus and came back, and like 3 or 4 of them had it.
Right.
And gave it to everyone else on the bus, and that reintroduced it in a major way. And these like blokes in their 40s, 50s who stopped off at pubs along the way. So that's kind of irritating me. But I say to him, he's talking about the universities now. A lot have gone into lockdown. Not letting students out their rooms. Yeah, not allowed to do this, not allowed to. I said, do you reasonably expect? I said, never mind what the ideal is. Do you reasonably expect 18 to 21-year-olds to listen to that?
They're not. 2 of my sister's friends have gone to university. I think the same university. They're not abiding it.
Going out all the time.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, they're not going out. Everyone's going to their flats.
Okay, right.
Which is worse in a way, because everyone in that building is now,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I realised I didn't specify the meme, so I'll quickly get out of the way. Because part of the local lockdown restrictions is that alcohol can no longer be served after 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Pubs can remain open.
Yeah.
But they can't serve alcohol. So there's loads of memes where it's like, COVID-19 at 9:59 p.m. and it's just like waiting patiently.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not going to infect. I can't infect anyone before 10 o'clock. You know. I think that was it.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that I didn't say it. So
yeah, that's fair. I mean, yes. So he keeps complaining about all the young people, and they should be fined, and they should be this, and they should be that. The police should. So the police would have to monitor every person in the country. So because if I go next door, I'm breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I said to him, if you want to do that, if you want to do like what they did in South Africa, which is, what's it called, Truth and Reconciliation. Right. After apartheid, the way they kind of worked it out was people just, instead of punishing...
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, instead of punishing the people who, were...
They just admitted to it and charges
this is my part in it.
Yeah.
And that was that. Which I think is a good way of doing it. But anyway, I said, if you're going to do that, if you're going to punish a cosmic punishment of every person who hasn't strictly followed the guidelines, not a single person in the country would get away with it. I don't think I know one person who's followed it to the letter.
Yeah.
They haven't popped in someone else's house.
In fairness, we wouldn't know of that person because they haven't left the house since March.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's the rare elderly person living alone.
Yeah.
That has no family or friends. Okay, fine. But no one has followed lockdown to the letter because it's not possible to follow lockdown to the letter. Life has to continue.
What is
to
the
some
letter?
Degree.
Exactly. That's the problem.
No one even knows what the rules are.
Yeah, because it's different all over the place. And that's the thing. Like, you had that, Boris Johnson gave that address to the nation. And half of what he said, or at least most of what he said, either already applied to us or doesn't apply to us at all.
Right. Yeah.
So it's, England have different restrictions to Wales, and then within Wales there are different restrictions to other counties. And, like, I sympathise in as much as, like, how do you deal with this situation? This is it's such a. I'm sure the governments are built, or there are things within governments to prepare for this possibility, you know?
You'd think. They can't even deal with snow.
Well, in fairness,
the country
how often does it snow?
The country Yeah, but still, the fact the country has to shut down, basically, that we have to close all the schools when there's a solitary snowflake.
It's not that, though, is it? I mean, we've always gone to school in places that are pretty easily accessible. It's more for the students who live up in the mountains where there's no signal.
But even so, you know, if you live in a country where it can snow, in Saudi Arabia, all right, fair enough. Like maybe you don't have to prepare for snow, but we should have some measures in place for, you know, we get snow at least once a year usually, right, to some degree.
I think 2018 was our last snow.
2018 was it?
Yeah.
But typically it's been like once or twice a year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And then there was that 1 year where it really snowed.
Last year we had that flood, didn't we?
We had the flood,
and I think that was our snow.
Our snow, yeah.
Because it was around the right time of year and it was the right amount, but because it wasn't cold enough.
Government can't do anything well. That's a very conservative position, but it's true. Government can't do anything.
Yeah.
And so my position now is crack on with it.
Yeah.
Just do what you want to do. Don't take the piss. Don't have raves. Don't invite 50 people into your house. Exercise some caution. But like we were going to record last week, and you said, "Oh, I can come over, but my mother is being tested for COVID.
Yeah.
And we're getting the results in 2 days." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, delay till she gets the result."
Yeah.
That's the way this should be governed. Just let people. I know, because a lot of people are going to be stupid about it, but you just have to trust people to be smart about it.
Yeah.
The fact that, you know, people aren't being allowed to see their loved ones as they die because of this, it's just it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the hypocrisy of, to make it a bit more political, I suppose, but, you know, the Black Lives Matter rallies weren't fundamentally disrupted by police at all, and police being chased down the street being called piggy, and they're beating police, but, you know, but when they're anti-lockdown protests, they crack down on it immediately and viciously. It's just like, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of the blatant hypocrisy of it all.
Yeah.
And I just think you've got to take it's an individual thing now. As an individual citizen, you have to take it upon yourself to crack on with it, knowing full well that depending on what laws come to pass, that what I'm saying now, you know, makes me an insurrectionary anarchist.
Well, yeah, didn't Boris say in his address to the nation, like, look, I'm warning you, we'll get the army involved if we have to.
Yeah.
Basically.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Army patrolling the streets.
Yeah, and if you
shooting people in their homes.
If you happen to see a group of 200 people, then you disperse them. All right.
Yeah.
But are you going to stop me going next door? Are you? You're going to stop me going over my father's grandfather's?
You're going to kill people, Sam.
I'm going to. Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. It's this emotional blackmail. It's like, you do know you're killing your grandfather if you don't follow exactly what we're saying. Fuck off. It's not as bad as we thought. And like I say, if I was in a large group of people, if I ended up in a large group of people, right, where I possibly could have transmitted it, I just wouldn't go over my grandfather's house for a while.
Yeah.
Let's just wait and see.
You didn't.
I didn't.
At the beginning of lockdown, you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let me do what I'm going to, you know.
Yeah.
What I want to do, basically.
I mean, like, it's not as bad as we thought. We just need to crack on with it. I'm sure that's going to be little comfort to the families of people who have died from COVID.
No, but you could say that about anything, couldn't you?
No, but this is my point. Yeah. Is that... Well, actually, I don't have a point. I just thought that was worth saying.
Yeah, I don't mean to sound heartless or anything like that. And, you know, I haven't lost anyone through it. And maybe if I ever contract it, I'll be eating my words.
Yeah.
But, okay, I'll round it off with this then. Our response is disproportionate to the problem. I think that's fair to say.
Well, I think it's because we acted too late, wasn't it?
And didn't act in the correct way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It wasn't that we acted too late, it's that we changed tactic too late.
Yeah.
If we were going to just get on with it from the beginning, we should have just got on with it. But because we went into lockdown late, that's delayed a lot of...
I mean...
Like this whole eat out to help out scheme, which was obviously to give the economy a little bit of a boost. And I think it did. I think it did a lot of good for people. I don't know if it's a universal thing, but basically, if you went out to a restaurant, not takeaways, but if you went out to a restaurant Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, your food was half price. The government paid for half of it. And loads of people did it.
Yeah.
And loads of people made money from it. And now they're saying, oh, that probably contributed to the sudden spikes in COVID.
Yeah, it's just...
It's because nobody's been allowed to interact for X amount of months.
Yeah.
And now everybody's interacting all of a sudden. So the virus is like having a field day.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just think that the way we've handled it, next year is a write-off now. In terms of getting back to a basically normal life, next year is a write-off.
Yeah.
they did that.
Do you think?
Yeah. They did that to us. We've lost a year of what could have been, doing this, doing that. We're not going to have that now. That pisses me off.
Okay.
It really pisses me off. So yeah, I just think you got to get on with it.
Yeah.
You just have to get on with it.
The point that I was making before was, I sympathize to a degree because this is incredibly, it came out of nowhere. What is the protocol for this sort of thing? And yeah, I'm sure there are protocols in place to deal with pandemics and stuff. Protocols that I'm not sure we're stuck to.
Yeah.
Because obviously we don't know what those protocols are. So I do sympathize to a degree, the fact that we were going into lockdown, so only a certain amount of places can be open, but that's going to tank the economy. So you have to balance the economy versus people's safety and stuff like that. Yeah. But then you do have examples like Sweden where they did a thing and now they're sorted.
They're sorted.
Yeah.
It's
not impossible. It's difficult, but it's clearly not impossible to deal with COVID.
I'm not saying it's easy, and I know there would have been a lot of had Boris said, well, we're going to implement social distancing, but we're going to carry on as normal, all right? It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I know that would have been a bold move and people wouldn't have liked it, but that's kind of what a prime minister is for, really.
Yeah. MasterChef Australia is doing all right.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a season of MasterChef Australia that's playing at the moment.
All right.
I don't know when it was filmed, but they've implemented social distancing.
Right.
So the judges are always a certain distance apart.
Yeah. Okay.
The contestants, they don't hug anymore, they bump elbows.
Right.
If they could film MasterChef Australia,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure we're going to be okay.
Yeah, but it's nobody learns. That's what winds me up. Nobody
also that as well, the fact you can't go visit your family.
Yeah.
But MasterChef Australia,
yes.
No, that's vital.
That's vital.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact you can't see your loved one dying in hospital, but if you've got an activist cause, you're probably immune then. Black Lives Matter is fine. You're huddling groups.
It's not.
It's
fine,
a cause.
Is it? I genuinely.
No, it was.
But, no. This is my point. I genuinely don't think there's going to be many people in government or the police that are it's fine to make exception for Black Lives Matter. It's just the fact that we can't do anything without being vilified.
Oh yeah, but it's terror. It's terror. But half terror, half.
It's not. Yeah.
Doctors signed an open letter saying that it was okay for people to gather in crowds for the Black Lives Matter movement.
Right.
There was a blatant hypocrisy.
Okay.
Further and further, just eroding trust in anything. Do you trust anything anymore?
Not really.
No, nor do I. But the fact that people don't learn. In the beginning, right? Again, any letter that came through your door, you were getting the wipes on it.
Yeah.
So do you do that now?
No.
Yeah, it's because you just know.
I've bought 3 video games from Amazon, and I'm just play it.
Yeah, exactly.
Away.
Yeah, it's because you learn.
Yeah.
You're supposed to learn. But then you see the headlines of people going out and panic buying again in RCT.
Yeah.
Didn't you learn from the first fucking time when we knew nothing about it, right? And it was a lot more scary and a lot more uncertain.
Yeah.
That we are not going to run out of shit.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. Just do a normal
We did
shop.
run out of toilet paper, though.
But because people were buying it.
Yeah. I think we still have toilet paper from
when you
from when we had to buy it in bulk because everyone else was buying it in bulk.
We've still got bottles of water that we bought in bulk.
Yeah.
But I can't. You excuse that at the beginning because you don't know how bad this is going to get. When it starts, you're sort of living a little bit, depending on how paranoid you are, in that thing of if I leave the house, it's just in the air, man.
Yeah,
it's everywhere, and you just don't operate like that anymore because you know more about it. Nobody learns. Nobody learns anything. I don't know. Enough of that. Enough of lockdown.
Okay. Sam.
Yes.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson ripped his own security gates off with his bare hands.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
You did hear about that?
I saw that. Literally, that's all I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Facebook and The Independent thought it was vital that I saw this information.
I gotta ask you, we talked about Trump being up for the Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that anywhere else?
No.
Literally
no idea.
I
saw a video. I didn't watch it because it was Colbert, I think.
Yeah.
But he... the video was titled something like Trump's neglect for life is endangering the country. Something like that. Just after he's been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. But no, to answer your question, I haven't heard it anywhere.
You haven't heard it. I've told, I don't know how many people about it. They haven't heard of it. My grandfather, who's very, watches the news all the time, hasn't heard about it.
Yeah.
Hadn't heard about it. And yet I have seen about 10 headlines about how much tax he paid.
Yeah.
In a certain year. I'm...
Yeah.
I'm very tired of all this, to be honest with you. It's just such a waste of energy in every direction, isn't it?
Well, exactly.
Like, why is this a problem? You know? Like, what... Douglas Murray has made the point of, you know, that this is not what our generation should be focused on. The amount of great minds that are being wasted having to think about this stuff.
Yeah. When
you should be figuring out how to get to Mars. But instead you've got to worry about social justice.
We've missed the deadline, right?
For...
Well, I think I've brought it up a couple of times on this podcast. My 2020 was always the future for me. That's because I had a book when I was younger, like a facts on space. And it said in that space fact book that by 2020 people would be living on Mars.
Right.
I think we've missed that deadline now, right?
Oh yeah. Yes, we missed that.
Unless that's telling us something.
Yeah, that we're not moving as fast as we should.
Yeah.
I remember having a similar book. It was called Children's Miscellany.
Right.
And that said, by 2008, so that's how long ago it was, we would have robot firefighters.
Right.
I don't know if we have robot firefighters. Okay. I don't think we do, but yes, we're not advancing as quickly as we should be.
Exactly. But we moved away from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson ripping off his security gates.
I
feel like this is clearly important because Facebook and The Independent showed it to me as like this is important.
Okay, I assumed I was making your point for you.
No.
But okay, go on.
So we are not going to leave this topic alone until we have sufficiently given it the time it deserves. Okay. Because of how important it is.
Okay. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's important.
Yes.
Right, clearly, isn't it?
Very important.
Very important. I'm going to read you the... obviously, it was just a picture of his security gates on the ground.
Yes.
I'm going to read you the post, because it was Instagram.
Okay,
Not the tweet, obviously.
The post, yeah.
It's just a post.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm going to read you the post that accompanied it.
Okay.
And this is from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, right. Okay.
Not my finest hour, but a man's got to go to work. We experienced a power outage due to severe storms causing my front gate not to open. I tried to override the hydraulic system to open the gates, which usually works when power goes out, but this time it wouldn't. Made some calls to see how fast I could get the gate tech on site, but I didn't have 45 minutes to wait. By this time, I know I have hundreds of production crew members waiting for me to come to work so we can start the day. So I did what I had to do. I pushed, pulled, and ripped the gate completely off myself, tore it out of the brick wall, severed the steel hydraulics and threw it on the grass. My security team was able to meet the gate technician and welders about an hour later, and they were apparently in disbelief and equally scared.
Right.
Not my finest hour, but I had to go to work. And I think I'm ready to be #Black Adam. #RIP Gates.
Or was that Ripgate?
Could be Ripgate. Yeah. Oh, maybe it was like a clever, like, oh,
yeah.
No,
exactly. Let's not credit him with that.
No. Does this seem a bit desperate to you?
Well, okay. I thought I liked Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
I do quite like him. I think he's a convivial, nice-seeming bloke.
I grow more suspicious of him by the day. I'm
suspicious of anybody that people fawn over on social media. So he would be an example of it.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt at a time, Jennifer Lawrence at a certain time.
Okay.
You know, like, oh, we love these people. And, you know, they're so cray and all that sort. I'm always like, it's the cool thing. It genuinely is. I'm suspicious of it. They're not. They're cunts. they're almost certainly cunts.
This is the thing, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he was a professional wrestler. Yes. You know, like he probably... I didn't really follow his career. His career was before my time, before I got into wrestling.
Yes.
So I'm sure he got involved in some shit.
Yeah.
When he was in the world of wrestling. They often do.
Yeah.
But yeah, since his transition into acting, like he's only... he started off doing like children's films. Mm-hmm. So he was like child friendly, and then sort of he became like a blockbuster star, but he's only ever played like heroes.
Well, he started with Scorpion King, didn't he? And the Mummy.
But that back then he was a wrestler. Like they hired him because he was a wrestler.
Oh, I see. After he left professional wrestling.
Yeah, I mean he still pops back in every now and again, but I don't think he fights anymore.
I think he started as an action star, didn't he? Like Doom and all that sort of thing.
No, I don't know.
And then, but he also did like children's films.
Yeah, I think the Tooth Fairy was like his first. Well, there's famous stuff before that.
That's quite late. That's like 2008, 2009, isn't it?
Okay. Well, for me anyway, the Tooth Fairy is the beginning of like, The Rock is an actor now.
Okay.
I know that's not exactly the most actory film.
He was in a film called Get Shorty, I remember.
Right.
And that was like 2004. And I remember thinking, that's not an action or a comedy. Oh, it is a comedy.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? And it was an acting role.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
I grow more suspicious of him like by the day. To me, he's sort of like Disney. or Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Where there's this generally accepted narrative of like, oh, they're just so great.
They're so nice.
Tom Cruise is so nice. He's such a lovely guy. Disney, like, it's so wonderful and magical. But like everybody accepts this narrative. But everybody knows beneath the surface there's some shady shit going on.
Well, with Disney, it's just the fact that it has the gloss of magic about it because it's Disney.
Yes.
It is the fabric of your childhood.
Yeah.
But it's also a massive corporation.
Yes.
So yes, there's bound to be a high dose of cynicism.
There's that component to it. There's also the passive progressive, as
passive progressive
Red Letter Media coined, where they'll put in like, oh, this is our first gay character. Oh, this is our first lesbian kiss. Yes. But it's always like, the only way you'd ever know is if you listen to the interviews around the film. And they're always implemented in such a way where they can be edited out for Chinese audiences. Yes. And they often are.
Yes.
It's that component as well. It's like, oh, look how, like, we're Disney, we're leading the way. It's like, you're not.
Yeah.
And then Tom Cruise, obviously, there's, the Scientology.
Yes, yeah. But that's the thing, with Tom Cruise, you know that his... not manner or demeanor. His persona has been forged by Scientology.
Yes,
I think that is a Scientology thing, that you make eye contact and you give them your entire attention and you're positive and you clap your hands. And that's like a prescription almost.
Oh yeah.
Again, but it's like the Fargo thing until it's questioned, and then you see the Scientologists like fucking lose their shit and like scream at people and stuff.
No.
Yeah, because they're still tightly wound, aren't they? And there's definitely a weird component where it's like, we are going to harbour like closeted Hollywood homosexuals.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck is going on with it. how that kind of plays into their self-denial.
Yeah.
Because John Travolta is gay and Tom Cruise is gay, let's face it.
Okay.
Well, we're going to get done now for life.
Yeah, they don't like that, do they? They don't like when you say things about their people.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, what's The Rock's darkness?
Other than his Samoanness.
Does that count?
No, not that kind of darkness.
Yeah, I was going to say, Samoans aren't.
Is he Samoan or Hawaiian?
No, he's Samoan.
He is Samoan, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's Samoan.
Yeah, well, he's a Pacific Islander, isn't he?
Yeah,
so
they're not dark, are they?
Yeah, well, they're darker.
They're darker, but they're not dark. They don't count as...
They count as minorities, yes.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think there isn't, because I do like him kind of, and he strikes me as the type of, like I said before on the podcast, maybe not on the podcast, but it's someone like him that should be president. Someone who has a very likeable way about him.
Yeah.
Has pulled himself up by his bootstraps. You know, he's obviously very committed and determined to keep himself in good shape like that. Yes.
I think as well, like when he started wrestling, I don't know too much about like his but he didn't start as The Rock. Like he started as like under a different name.
Right.
And he was a joke, basically. He was like mid-tier at best.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden he became one of the biggest names in wrestling.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I don't think there's a big secret to him. Like, I don't think he abuses his wife or anything.
No, and I'm not saying like, oh, there clearly is a big secret.
Yeah.
It's just like there were hundreds of people waiting on me, so I had to go to work. I had to, do it for them. And the fact as well that he's never played a villain, they just feel like he's attempting to push this, oh, aren't I so great?
It's like he's running for office.
A little bit. And also like this, like, not my finest hour. Bullshit. You ripped a gate off with your bare... Like, if I ripped a security gate off with my bare hands, message you straight away, do you fucking see this?
See what I just did?
Yeah.
Which is what he did, let's face it.
No, yeah, but he's framed it as like, oh, I'm not proud of it.
I know.
But I ripped a gate off with my bare hands for the benefit of others, for other people's sake.
I think the darkness probably extends to he's very congenial and stuff in interviews, and then as soon as he's home, that's just like, it drops off, and he's like, oh, these fucking reporters.
Because I think The Rock has been a heel in wrestling.
Okay.
I think more often than not he was a face, he was babyface, so he was liked. But yeah, I think it's like there's like one wrestler in the history of WWE who has never been a villain, and it's not The Rock.
Okay.
So he has done it before.
I just think he has the discipline to never lose his patience publicly.
Yeah.
So he always does seem very nice and charming and all the rest of it. But I mean, that sort of thing that you just read out, the thing that I think of first is people filming themselves giving money to homeless people.
Yeah.
Oh, here's 20 quid, mate. Here's 50 quid. Here's 200 quid. It's that. it's why. I mean, is the footage his own footage?
Well, it's just a photograph.
Oh, it's a photograph.
I think there is also footage of his security team. Like, just like, well, there's the gate.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Okay. Yeah, okay. This is the kind of cool that I do like then. He would have been a lot cooler had it never been addressed. That's cooler to me.
Yeah, if it just came out like, oh, we heard that you ripped off your own security gates.
Oh, yeah, just the thing.
Yeah. But then again, would we just think that like, oh, that was planted? Like he knew that was coming, so his reaction was like, well, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, maybe not like, oh yeah, I don't want to talk about that, because that's like, oh, he's so humble.
Yeah.
You can't win, I suppose, if you're a celebrity.
No, I suppose.
Yeah, just like, oh yeah, I did that, I had to get to work, and yeah, I suppose it is a display of my strength, but this isn't a story.
I do wonder as well, actually, because it's hashtag Black Adam. Now, obviously, that's what he's filming at the moment.
Yes.
But I do wonder if this was like, subtle marketing for
blacks.
for Black Adam.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, like, oh my god, The Rock just achieved this real-life feat of superheroism.
Yeah.
He displayed super strength, and now he's going to play a superhero. What a perfect casting.
I wouldn't be surprised either way, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, that was the production company's way of announcing that Black Adam production has begun. Oh, The Rock, do you want to pretend to rip off your own security gates?
Yeah, it's like a viral marketing sort of thing.
Yeah.
Multimedia. Yeah, well, weirdly enough, I saw the first episode of the new season of Fargo.
Is it good?
I like it a lot.
Okay.
Critics like it.
Does that mean no one else will like it?
No. Critics like it less than the first 3 seasons.
Okay.
They say it's too big. It's too ambitious. It's too...
right.
It's not as focused as... And maybe. But the fact is, I don't know how many episodes they've seen. You can't really judge an anthology show on like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
You have to let it become what it's going to become. There's a lot going on. I have to say, personally, I love it.
Okay.
They released the first 2.
Right.
I've seen the first 2. I think we should watch it weekly from now on, you and me.
Yeah, okay.
But I really, really like it. And there was a line in it that Noah Hawley, you just know, he must have gone like, oh, that's a kind of... we didn't get there the best way, but that's a fortunate coincidence. They would have filmed this probably... Well, it would have been 2019, right? And because they had to stop production on it.
Yeah.
And then resumed, and now it's finally ready for air. Chris Rock in the first episode is talking to... he's a black gangster talking to an Italian gangster. And he says something like, that's the thing with you Italians and you white Americans or whatever. You've always got your knee on our neck.
Right.
As a metaphor.
Oh, right, okay.
But do you know what I mean? It would have been those things like, oh, how prescient and how kind of...
Yeah.
Because obviously this would have been written and filmed
presumably,
way before the death of George Floyd.
Yeah.
It's like, what a kind of fortuitous yet unfortunate,
Yeah.
I
wonder what the reaction would have been if Fargo had come out when intended and then George Floyd happened. How would the public react? Oh, this is fucking marketing for Fargo.
Yeah, because that happened in Minnesota as well.
Oh shit! Oh fuck!
Yeah, as conspiracy theories go, it's quite out there. Yeah.
God, Fargo is ambitious if it's like using hate crimes as marketing.
Yeah. Did you have any more to say about The Rock?
No, I think we've given him his dues.
Okay. These are all just little bits now, basically.
Yeah, these are bite size.
These are our bite size, yeah. So, another lockdown boo.
Okay. Registered trademark? Is that an official...
Lockdown boo?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I've been watching Frasier. And I think... was it the last episode where we talked about Friends? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was, yeah.
The 9/11 episode.
Yeah.
And I discovered that one of the writers, the 3 creators of Frasier, died in one of the planes hitting the Twin Towers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. David Angles, his name was.
Right.
And he was on one of the first plane that hit
the first
tower.
Does that...
weird, freaky little coincidence.
Does that get addressed in the show at all?
Never.
Okay.
Never. I think a lot of comedies just didn't. It's like, I think they understood...
Was Frasier on when 9/11
Yeah, it would have been in like its 8th season or something.
Okay.
Like near the height of its popularity, I would say.
Okay.
I think the thinking probably just was they need anything but that in our half-hour comedy.
That's fair enough. And also, it's set in Seattle, right? So there's no compulsion. Like with Friends, there might have been a bit of a compulsion.
Even though I don't think they even did.
Okay. Yeah, well, it was set in New York, so it probably felt a bit like...
I think they edited out the Twin Towers from like the opening credits and stuff like that.
Okay.
And certainly from the inserts, Other than that, yeah. But it would be weird. Like, it's not the place. I know it might feel weird that there's these 6 New Yorkers and they're not talking about this massive thing that happened. But it's also like, yeah, it's not... Especially that time, it would have been all you heard.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Don't need it. Don't need it. Be another freaky little coincidence.
Okay.
And in tandem with that, because I finished Frasier now, I'm crying at everything now. Yeah, it is good.
Okay.
It is good.
Well, yeah, you're crying at it, so it must be good.
Well, I for a few reasons. Obviously, it was the finale, and it's the finale of 11 seasons.
Yeah.
So I spent quite a lot of time with it.
Plus Cheers as well?
Plus, which is 22 seasons. A traditional network sitcom. That is one episode a season has its own season.
Is there much carryover from Cheers in terms of Frasier?
No.
Okay.
No, so the characters pop up every now and again.
Okay.
But literally it's guest starring Ted Danson, guest starring Rhea Perlman.
And they don't like continue stories from Cheers at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Frasier has his wife in Cheers recurs relatively frequently in Frasier.
Okay.
But they're divorced. But yeah, it never alludes to anything. It is a totally different show, basically.
Okay.
For all intents and purposes. But yeah, so at the end of it is, Frasier is I don't think this is a spoiler at this point, is it?
The ending of Frasier.
The ending of Frasier.
Okay.
Frasier's a DJ. He does a radio psychiatry show.
Okay.
And yeah, at the end of the series, he moves away, and one of them every episode. Like one of their go-to tableaus is Frasier and his brother. They have coffee together at this little cafe.
Okay.
And when Frasier's leaving, his brother kind of just shakes hand and says, "I'll miss the coffees," and that's the last thing he says to him. So that got me going a bit. Frasier's father.
Well, it's the corruption of routine, isn't it? Like they had their routine, and now that routine is gone, and it should be.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. It's the obsessive compulsive.
You're a creature of habit. You're like me in that respect.
Oh, don't rope me into your levels of...
No, are you not a creature of habit?
No, I am, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, no.
You're like me in that respect.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm a meerkat and you're a tiger.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
A tiger of
order.
Right.
A tiger of a 2. You're a 2. Yeah, so that... And then at the start of the show, Frasier's father moves in with him because he's recovering from a gunshot wound. And he has like a physical therapist.
Okay.
And he can't live on his own anymore, so he moves in with Frasier. And, they have quite a combative relationship, They don't get on all the time, and Frasier's life is kind of interrupted by his father being there, and he hates his dog and all that sort of thing. At the end, the last thing the father says to him is, "Thanks, Frasier, for everything." Everything just set me off. And then he kind of reads a poem on the radio station, the kind of... ends the series really. And then there's like a little detail where Daphne and Niles have called their baby David, and then I realized it was named after the guy who had died.
Oh, right. Okay.
That got me going. When I started to realize that and just started crying to myself. I thought, okay, maybe this is a fluke.
Yeah.
But it's not. I was out the kitchen the other day and there was a spider, and I killed the spider, or like half killed the spider.
Yeah.
And then when I went to pick it up, it was still kind of like, thrashing about. And that made me emotional. I didn't cry, but it was like, I feel guilty. I never felt guilty killing insects and things like that. But I felt guilty killing this spider.
Okay.
And then I was watching a debate about political correctness with Stephen Fry, and something he said made me well up.
Okay.
And then I was on Tinder the other day, and just like... I think I set my age preference to like 50 or 60 or something, like to see like how many were on there.
Right.
And just see these pictures of the women in their 50s just smiling like on holiday and stuff like that, and that made me sad. Not genuinely, not like a pitiful I pity them way. Just in they are still trying. Fair play.
Okay.
I don't mean that to sound condescending or anything.
So it's like a in the 50s, sharp inhale of pride.
Yeah, God bless them. They're still trying to find like love in their 50s and stuff like that. And that made me cry. So, it's not out of the realm of the possibility that I'll cry by the end of the podcast about something. I almost did on the last one.
What'd you cry about?
When we were talking about America and 9/11 and all.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So let's move on swiftly. I've been listening to Leonard Cohen a lot.
Okay.
I don't know what. It just the impulse grabbed me for some reason.
Well, Zack Snyder films, they tend to use Leonard Cohen stuff. I think. Yeah. You've been on a Snyder
It's not
binge.
connected to that at all. All right.
Okay.
But I did see something the other day where someone was saying, I can't get funding to make my film, that I worked really hard on, but Zack Snyder gets $70 million thrown at him to complete his piece of shit film.
Right.
That my kids call a piece of shit,
Yeah.
And Edgar Wright liked it, which I thought was,
okay.
They don't do that. Directors, you don't slag off other directors, and you don't...
Is it possible he misunderstood?
Oh no, it was pretty clear.
Okay.
It was very clear.
Okay, interesting. I wasn't of the impression that he disliked.
Edgar Wright is a very, get on with everybody person, from what I've seen, so I found that quite surprising.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's struggling with funding and stuff at the moment.
Maybe, yeah.
So it's like, the struggle is real.
Or it's like a general struggle to secure financing for a film.
Yeah.
And this guy just gets... For a shit film, let's face it.
During the time that we're in.
Is it out? Is it out yet?
I don't think so.
Because I've heard people talking about it, but okay.
Well, the trailer came out not so long ago, so it could still be about... But then again, that was like episode 32, we talked about the trailer.
Right.
And it was old news then. Oldish news then.
So a few months old then.
Yeah. What's happening with Last Night in Soho? Is that still
April
happening?
next year.
Okay.
It's made, it's done.
It's done,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
All right.
But yeah, listening to a lot of Leonard Cohen, I highly recommend him.
Okay.
I highly recommend him.
In what regard?
As a lyricist.
Okay.
He's a poet.
Because I'm not against lyrics.
Yeah.
I do like them, and they do enhance a song. And I think a lot of people have it, but if a song doesn't have vocals, because I listen to video game music.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that I listen to that's instrumental, but there is still that songs take on another dimension if they have vocals, don't they?
Yeah. Songs
with vocals, they're more compelling for whatever reason. Even though I don't favor lyrics.
Right.
I'm very much I like the music.
Yeah.
The vocals are just part of the music.
I broadly agree, but if a song has bad lyrics, it can detract from...
Yeah.
This could have been a great song.
Then again, what was it? Lost in Stereo by All Time Low.
Right.
Has fucking awful lyrics.
Yes.
I listen to that a lot.
You don't... there's a veil of irony, isn't there?
Well, yes.
I don't agree with this whole guilty pleasure bullshit. I think it's nonsense.
Okay.
You either like it or you don't. Why are you guilty about it, for God's sake? But there is a slight veil of, it's not a good song, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not quite an ironic enjoyment. It's no, I like the song, but I just recognise it's not a masterpiece. I like it for what it is.
Yes.
But yes, no, there are some instances. I suppose I can be won over if a song, I don't really like the sound of it, but it's got great lyrics. I'll give it a break.
Okay.
Whereas I don't the other way around. Yeah, I mean, Leonard Cohen, they're basically poems to music. You don't listen to it for the music at all, even though the musicianship is brilliant.
Okay.
And I would recommend watching his performance of Who by Fire in London. The musicianship is just extraordinary across the board. There's someone playing a Spanish guitar. Because what they do is, the song is 2.5 minutes long, but they kind of embellish it to be 8 or 9 minutes. It's like a Spanish guitar solo. There's a kind of synth organ solo.
Okay.
And it's just amazing. All these musicians they're at the top of the game. That is musicianship.
Okay.
So I recommend watching that.
All right.
And just watching lyric videos, because they are brilliant. There's one song, I think it's called Anthem, and what's the opening lyrics are: ring the bells that still can ring, forget your perfect offering, there's a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in.
Okay.
I love that. There's a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in.
Right.
What a better way of saying imperfection is kind of a necessary...
Yeah.
That got me going, see? Yes, but if you weren't already, I recommend listening to Leonard Cohen.
Okay.
Who died many years ago.
All right. I'll give it a shot.
Oh, no, 3 years ago, I think. Anyway, by the by. Seen the Emmys?
No. Have they happened?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they happened.
I thought I would know if they happened.
I know. You don't really hear about it anymore, do you?
No. Anything good?
Watchmen won quite a lot.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. The only problem with Watchmen winning things is that the people who made it then have to make a speech about it.
Oh, right.
And that's where it lets it down a little bit.
I see. Okay.
Well,
what have we got this time?
That's what you think, innit? That's what you'd expect. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. Schitt's Creek. Are you familiar with the comedy Schitt's Creek?
I'm familiar with the name.
Swept. It swept the board.
Okay.
It won Best Comedy Series, right?
Right.
And like writing and directing, I think.
Okay.
And also lead actor, actress, supporting actor, actress. It won all 4 acting categories.
Right.
Which I don't think has ever happened at the Emmys.
Is it good?
Not that good.
I got the impression it was like not like daytime TV, but it was just like, filler television.
It's above that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been going for a long time, like unrecognized. I think that's part of why it's so well loved. But also it's a bit like Parks and Recreation, where it's fun. The drive of the show, it's about like people getting on.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But like it's not a cynical comedy. It's like there's a lot of love in it.
Right.
People like that about it.
Okay.
And it's it's very everyone's pro gay rights, but it pushes that.
I see.
Let's say.
Okay.
So that swept the board. Succession, I'm happy, won drama series and an acting thing. Yeah, nothing spectacular. Except Watchmen won. Regina King won for a performance in Watchmen. Out of all those supporting actors that were nominated, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II won.
What's that?
He plays Dr. Manhattan, her husband.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Okay.
How much is he in it?
Well, he's in it enough to.
There's that episode, like their episode where they're on the date.
Yeah. I mean, he's in every episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, he won for that episode, didn't he?
Yes.
Really. Which you don't even see him as Manhattan in, as I remember.
No. Well, you very rarely see him as Manhattan.
Yeah. So
he's in like 1 or 2 scenes, and then he's dead.
Yeah. So okay, well he won.
Okay.
They all made those sorts of speeches, especially Damon Lindelof. It's like, I really want to love Lindelof. It's just one bit of him that really fucking winds me up. But the salient thing of it for me was Anthony Anderson. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know him.
I know him.
He came out on stage.
I'm watching.
You're watching The Shield.
I'm watching The Shield.
Yeah, he came out on stage and said, it was all a shtick about like this was poised to be the most black Emmys ever because of all the nominees.
Yeah,
it was going to be so black. It was going to be like hot sauce black. It was going to be blah blah black. It was going to be fits the description black, right? And stuff like that. Like whatever. And then he said, but seriously, I am rooting for all the black nominees because black stories matter and black lives matter, right? Imagine, right, coming out on stage and saying, I'm supporting the white nominees. It's like, it's given a pass because it's like Arsenal or something. It's like a team sport. I'm rooting for this team. But imagine saying that. I'm rooting for the black nominees. That's like blatant, unfiltered racism.
You had me going then. The way you were presenting it, I thought you were going to say, like, he did all that.
Yeah.
And then he came out with this very, like, no, but seriously, Black Lives Matter, get your shit together. You're ruining our reputation. I thought he was going to say something that we support.
Oh, no.
And then you were like, you doubled down on it. And I'm like, oh, no. Don't take Anthony Anderson away from me.
Oh, they're all like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
By which I mean Hollywood celebrities, not black
of course.
people.
Well, like you said yourself, that Lindelof was very much that.
Yeah.
Is it genuinely ruining your enjoyment of him?
Not of his work.
Okay.
I mean, Watchmen kind of has that infused in it. It's
sort of impossible to ignore during Watchmen.
It's weird because he's very left-wing and he supplicates himself to Black Lives Matter, and I've seen no one more vocal about it in my little sphere than him. But then he wrote The Hunt, didn't he? And he said the reason he wanted to make that film was to show that both sides, there are stereotypes about conservatives and about liberals, and actually most people who are conservative are all right, and most people who are liberal are all right. But it's weird, like there's kind of a clash with how he presents himself on social media, and his other work that kind of belies that a little bit. I mean, I love Lost, and luckily Lost doesn't have any of that in it. I remember watching Lost, right, as a 9-year-old, and you have Saeed, and it never once occurred to me, like, oh, there's an Iraqi man in this.
Yeah.
Never thought about it. It never once, and I genuinely mean that. It just simply does not occur to you. Oh, they're Koreans.
Yeah, and they actually speak Korean.
Yeah, and it's a flight, it's an international flight, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't detract, and The Leftovers is great, obviously. I just hope he moves on thematically to something else.
Okay.
That he's not so obsessed with race in America that it has to define everything he writes from here on out. But yeah, that was the Emmys. A bit of a fluff. A bit of a... It detracts my general relationship from my general relationship with the film industry and Hollywood and all the rest of it. Like, I just know we wouldn't be welcome. That's the fact of the matter.
Yeah. We would, so long as we said the right things.
Said the right things. Are you familiar with a show called Criminal UK?
No.
It's on Netflix. And they did one batch of, I think, 3 or 4 episodes last year. It's like the self-contained things where it's about a little group of police officers, detectives, and they bring someone into an interrogation room, and the episode is the interrogation.
Okay.
Half-hour little, chamber piece sort of thing. And I wasn't like massive on the first season. It was okay. And they rolled up the second season a couple of weeks ago. I really liked it.
Okay.
It's somewhat for philosophical reasons, let's say.
Right.
There's an episode... Actually, I'll get to that after this. So, Kumail Nanjiani is in it.
I think I know that name.
He plays Raj in The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I didn't know he was British.
Yeah, I knew.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah, they really play up his Indianness in the Big Bang Theory.
But I assumed he was an American actor. I assumed he was like Senthil Ramamurthy, who played Mahinda in Heroes.
I see, okay.
Which, is great in Heroes, because he starts off as a very Indian, very da-da-da-da, and then... he just sort of becomes English by the end of it.
Yeah.
And in real life, he's got quite a Camp American accent.
It's so
weird. But yeah, so I didn't know that he was British. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know it was him. It genuinely, it's not like they have done a massive transformation, but he really looked different. I guess because Raj is quite metrosexual, isn't he? That's sort of his thing. Foppish hair. But he has just a beard in this and kind of short hair. And call me racist. I actually thought it was Himesh Patel, I think is his name. The actor who's in Yesterday, the Danny Boyle film. Okay. And in Tenet, I think he pops up in.
Oh, right, okay.
But no, it's Kumail Nanjiani. He's really good in it.
Okay.
He plays a killer.
Oh, right.
Who's already been caught for it. He's doing time. But he says, I'm in prison with all these other killers. Anything you want to know? And to negotiate like a lower sentence for himself. And he's really good in it.
Okay. Is that sort of the appeal of it, that it's just a... writing performance powerhouse show?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was hands down the best performance for me.
Okay.
I really liked him in it.
Okay.
The other actors in the other episodes are, Sharon Horgan. She's in Catastrophe. She's the woman in Catastrophe.
No.
Okay. Irish actor. She's in Game Night. She's the idiot's girlfriend in Game Night.
All right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, yeah.
but I know to which character you are referring.
Yeah, you know the idiot. Yeah, the woman he's with.
Yeah, but I can't picture her.
No, okay, fine.
But I know that character. I know what to look up now. Okay. So I can confirm that I know that, yeah.
Her. I think the first episode is... what's her fucking name? Black actress, she's in Hotel Rwanda. Sophie Okonedo, I think, is the first one.
Genuinely no way. You're just throwing names at me, Sam. It could mean anything.
But I think the third episode, it was Kit Harington. You know Kit Harington.
I know Kit Harington.
Yeah. And I expected that to be, oh God, people are going to lap this up because it's him.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that's on the poster.
Oh,
it's
right.
him.
Okay. Yeah.
He is good, right? And
okay.
That episode is my favorite episode. It's about a guy that's been accused of rape. And he's like a real estate agent. And he's a London prig. Like, he's entitled and arrogant. He talks like that, and you hate him.
Okay.
And then... like, as they're digging through research while he's being interviewed, he obviously insists he hasn't done anything wrong. They find out that this woman has accused men in earlier jobs of sexually assaulting her and got like a big, either a promotion or a settlement. So that it casts doubt on it, and they can't arrest him. And basically, by the end of the episode, it looks like he's innocent, right?
Okay.
But they're like, okay, you're free to go, and he's like, what do you mean I'm free to go? Like, you can leave. We're not going to arrest you today, but we'll let you know if that changes. And he's like, excuse me, I've given you 5 hours of my time. Give me 5 minutes of yours. Sit down, right? So the guy does.
Right.
And he's like, I had a cousin who, when she was in university, she was accused, they thought she had drugs. She was a drug dealer, had drugs in her flat. So the police stormed it, and they destroyed it. They ripped everything up. And then when she came back after a particular day, she found that everything had been replaced and put back in its right place. How are you going to do that for me now? Everyone at my work saw you arresting me, taking me out, and they know I've been accused of rape. That's never going to wash off. So how are you going to fix that now? Thought that's just brilliant. Yeah. You just don't hear that ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of left unresolved because there's nothing they can really do about it.
Oh.
Well, that's the thing, like, they don't go, yeah, you're completely right, but they sort of don't say anything to him. I'm like, listen, that's just not how it works.
Is there that general understanding of he's got a point?
Yeah, like, the show is saying that, but the police are like, there's nothing we can do, that's not how this works, you just have to go and pick up the pieces.
Okay.
But I thought, like, it was nice to hear that.
Yeah.
The film that we have been making is a similar-ish thing.
I'm always dubious about bringing that up.
Yeah,
because of my history with films, making films. And
it's going to get made. We won't talk about it, other than to say...
It's good.
The script is very good and shines a light on another side, another perspective that you don't often hear.
Yes, exactly. No, that does sound very... Because Kit Harington, he's not good, right? Is that the reputation?
No, he is. That's the thing. I mean...
Like he's good as Jon Snow, but anything else he's been in, it's like, oh, he's not very good, is he?
Yeah, he's never impressed in anything. But to be fair, I haven't really seen him in anything else. He's good as Jon Snow.
I know that he was the villain in one of the Call of Duty games.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he was the villain, like, the villain before him was Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
So I think after Kevin Spacey, people were like, oh, Kit Harington.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not a villain.
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen
also completely miscast. Yeah.
He was in Spooks, the film of the TV show.
Okay.
But I think that was rubbish.
Okay.
No, it turns out he's actually not a bad actor.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
He's not just a pretty face.
That's good.
So I would recommend watching it.
Because Emilia Clarke is, right? She hasn't done anything since Game of Thrones
I don't think she's a bad actress. I just don't think she's been in anything good.
Okay.
You know? But yeah, she's never wowed. I think her as Daenerys, even that is like, well, she's not fantastic.
Right, okay.
It's a good character.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a fantastic performance.
Okay.
It's quite public schoolgirl performance. Okay.
Anyway,
if you hear banging, there's work going on
apologies for any background noise. The house next door is being demolished by the sounds of it.
Well, the last people who lived there, I might have talked about on the podcast, were the scumbags. The police came and all that.
See, I genuinely have no idea if you've told that story.
I don't know.
Because you can't leave that story hanging if you haven't told it.
They were the people who lived next door to me were other, like, you know, proper valley scum, up all night, like screaming at each other. One of them hit his girlfriend, and all that, you know, talked like that. Alcoholics, horrible people. And one night outside my house, the police pulled up, got out, went next door. I heard someone on the radio say, yeah, we've been told to leave. We've been told to pull back, I think was the expression.
Okay.
And then one by one, I'm not exaggerating, 12 police cars came into the street. Armed response. Men with guns.
Right.
About 10 to 15 men with guns in the street. Up to next door, like, come on with your hands up and no one's going to get hurt. Storming through the house.
Right.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Later found out that he'd been hitting his pregnant girlfriend.
Yeah.
The other one living there.
Are these the slugs that you were on about at the beginning of the podcast? Do they count as slugs?
That was just an aspect. These these animals.
Right.
These are the lowest of the low as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Hitting his pregnant girlfriend, and the other guy who lived there tried to stop it. And when he tried to stop it, the guy put a knife to his throat.
Right. Did he do any damage with said knife?
Not significant. He put it to his throat and like cut him a little bit.
Okay.
And then ran off with a knife. And then the police came with the guns.
I see.
And then the next day, I saw him just waltz back into the house. Yeah. Anyway, they're gone. And
why did he waltz back in?
Well, I don't. Obviously,
how I should say
the guy didn't press charges. Obviously,
right?
Because so that guy came round asking for tools and stuff as they were moving out, and this friend of his, right? So my mother said to him, "Why didn't you press charges?" Just curious. He went, "How can I? He's my best friend. I've known him for like 20 years." Like,
right.
Yeah, some friends you've got, mate.
Yeah.
Yes, that perverse, weird valleys bullshit. You know, like, oh, he's my brother. Fucking ridiculous. So that's what it was. He just traipsed. But I think if you're causing a situation that requires an armed response, because here's the thing, you know, whenever there's a gun on the table, someone might get shot. I might have gone out of the house and made a scene about something.
Yeah.
Made a sudden move. You never know. You never know. If you're causing that situation,
any of the kids that live on this street could have been running about, you know?
Right. That deserves some punishment.
Yeah.
You know, either remunerative or penal. He should have gone to jail for a bit. He should have. You brought out the guys with guns. All right, you're going to jail then.
Or just community service at the very least.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
something. Anyway, yeah. As they're moving out, like the more pleasant one, even though he wasn't, but more pleasant one. He had a dog.
Right.
You know, for a long time he'd had this dog, and the guy just came and took the dog. He stole his dog.
Right.
I'm standing in my living room saying, "You took my dog." I'm like trying to hold back sobbing. So God, I feel you're human to me now a bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, they've left, so you can imagine what their house looks like.
The state of the house, yeah.
So they had the constant work. They had to rebuild a wall because he decided one night at midnight to come and get his fridge.
Yeah.
And instead of carrying it gently, he just kind of threw it down the steps, and it took out the wall.
Right.
So they're rebuilding the wall as well. Scum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, apologies for any background noise.
Yeah.
That's at least you have a backstory now.
Yes.
It's you're not suffering through the background noise for nothing.
Yeah. So I recommend Criminal UK.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. So you're saying that the Kit Harington episode is the best one, but the best performance is Raj.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But watch it all.
Yeah. It's all pretty good. Yeah. I went to Metro's a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Our Haunt in Cardiff.
Has this been discussed on Funfiltered? Because I know that
Metro's, yes.
The podcast that preceded us.
Okay.
There was like a whole episode where we basically just talked about Metros.
I think did in the Fun Divided, did Eddie and Freya talk about Metros?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Eddie's a frequenter as well.
Yes.
And her as well. Freya is.
She was, yeah. It's a dive. It's a rock dive. Damp, sweaty.
Sweatros.
Sweatros.
It's literally a hole in the ground.
It's a hole in the ground.
Because the upstairs, the bit that you actually walk into is obviously like where you pay pay the person. There's a cloakroom next to them and there are toilets.
And the bogs. Yeah.
The actual club is downstairs, underground. Yeah.
It's a pit, but we like it because it doesn't play to our ideal taste, but it's music we can put up with.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
With the occasional song we actually like.
Yes.
And it's cheaper than a lot of places, so I think that's a big part of it.
Have they brought squashed frogs back as well?
They're gone.
You sure? Because I'm sure I saw something on their social media saying they were bringing them back.
Oh, maybe then. I don't know. I certainly didn't.
Because if they are, I definitely want to go back sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Well, there's no point at the minute, but you could book a table for like 2-hour stints.
Okay.
And then you got to go.
Right.
But yeah, I went there. It's a pub, basically. They got all the lights on. They built a little gazebo. Like, got all fairy lights on it. You can book to sit in.
Right.
Downstairs underground.
Oh, underground?
No, where it is already, I mean.
No, yeah, the gazebo's not outside where the smoking area was.
No, they've got an internal gazebo.
Okay.
With all fairy light. It's just like an element
They've got
the room.
Fucking club lights, haven't they? Metros, where you just put on the club lights.
Yeah, they haven't done that. They put on their light when they close lights.
Yeah, the house lights.
Yeah, the house lights. So I said to the guy who works there, it looks like a crime's been committed here. It's like so used to being pitch black.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden, like, no, stop.
Oh god, I can see the grime and the filth.
Yeah. They painted like a mural of like Day of the Dead. It's weird. There's some new stuff there.
Okay. Are you sure? Because there is a mural that's been on, like, it's got Desperados and then like a skull above it.
Different one, yeah.
Okay.
A new one.
They better not paint it over that mural. That mural is Metros. They can't paint over it.
It's not on the dance floor. It's where we sit.
Oh right, okay, yeah, that's fine then.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's functionally a pub now. But anyway, the reason I brought it up, along with becoming more emotional, I'm losing my patience with people very quickly.
It's a weird path you're going down, isn't it? I'm more emotional, but I can't tolerate
stand people. Yeah. So I'm meeting someone, right, and we were chatting, and every now and then there was someone who works there who he's a photographer, right? And he knows the person with whom I was having a drink, and he just kept. We'd be in mid-conversation, and he just kept coming up and just started having a conversation there.
Right.
I can't. When you think objectively, how rude that is.
Yeah.
Just walking up to someone's table and start having a chat with them.
That's a power move, isn't it? Does he think,
yes, but to no end.
But does he think you're competition? Is that the idea?
No.
Okay.
That's the thing. She went there with her boyfriend the night before.
Right.
So I'm just like a guy.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And he knows me. Well, as in he knows, like, you've seen me a bunch.
Yeah. We've been going there since university. I'd like to think that they know who we are by now.
We're not on speaking terms. But yeah, no, it didn't feel like I'm going to make, like, a slide between the two of you. It was just like an assumption that I'll just go and have a chat. But just the rudeness of it, it just really struck me. And then there were people on the table behind us, right? And there was a guy there. I'm going to say, and you say I say it a lot, but I think he was autistic, right? Because all of his friends were sitting around him, and he was just talking like delivering at them.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear any of them say one word for the 4 hours I was there.
Okay.
He was just expounding on different subjects.
He was.
And they had to listen to him.
Don't think he was drunk. Don't think he was.
Oh no!
On E or something.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't like that.
Okay.
He was just talking about the snippets I overheard were oh yeah, so Sheila, whatever. Yeah, Sheila thinks that you mental illness isn't a thing unless it's been diagnosed. She doesn't believe in.
Right.
It was that guy.
Okay.
Right. And yeah, it's got to the point where the guy came up and said, "Oh, do you want your photograph taken?" I'm like, "Oh God, all right, fine." And they took one of the group behind us, and
he just went like, "Do you want your photograph?" Yeah, all right, and then just went and photographed somebody else.
No, he took our photo and then took a photo of the group behind us. And I was facing them, right? I could see them.
Okay.
And they did their poses, and then the person I was with said, "How are they posing?" And it was very quiet in there and I just like fucking wankers.
Right.
And they heard me.
Okay.
And they all looked in my direction. And I realised a beautiful thing. I don't care anymore. There was a time where
that's dangerous.
That would have embarrassed me.
Sam not caring is a dangerous thing.
That would have embarrassed me not a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, they heard me. And I was like, oh, come on then.
You doubled down.
Yeah, come and speak. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough, whatever. That's not saying that I would, like, in an actual fight situation, happily, engage in combat. But that has gone from me now.
Okay.
That thing about being nervous around strangers or apprehensive. Fuck you. My default now is fuck you. I am who I am, right? And you're just going to have to accept it. Which is lovely. It's a lovely thing.
It's usually like whenever that's said, because you get that a lot nowadays, obviously with like, we have to accept.
I am who I am.
Yeah, people who are trans, people who are overweight, people who are, of a certain colour or, all these different like, I am who I am.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing and no one should hate me for it.
It really applies.
It doesn't ring with the same kind of... It doesn't ring the same when you say it.
It really applies to someone who's just ornery.
Yeah.
Who's just a bit... Yeah,
it's like I am transgender and that's a beautiful thing and I need to accept that. I am,
God, have you seen a transgender? It's not a beautiful thing.
I'm overweight and I accept that and that's a beautiful thing.
That's definitely not
I'm a wanker. I'm gonna you gotta fucking deal with it.
I'm not talking about like being an arse to people.
Right.
I don't mean that. Like it's my way or the highway. I don't mean that.
Yeah, you're not saying that like that's going to be a default, but you are saying that like I don't care if it reaches that point.
I'm saying I'm not I make no apologies now.
Okay.
For I have no problem. So we talked about it. I went to Cardiff and I wasn't allowed to. Right.
Okay.
We weren't allowed to. We were in lockdown at that point.
Oh, I see.
Our country was in lockdown. Okay, so I went to Cardiff, and then when I was buying my ticket in Cardiff, a guy just who was working at the train station off to the side said, "Why have you come from Ponty?" Now normally I think I would have got. I'm just like not been able to think of anything, and so just confessed.
Yeah,
but I just like knee jerk. It's personal. I said to him. I thought, that'll shut him up. I said it's personal. He went, all right, mate. And then I went to leave, and he pulled me over and he said, "Oh no, but why have you come from Ponty?" And I said, "Oh, it's personal." He said, "I'm going to need more than that." So I said, I tried to think of something that would make him the most embarrassed for having asked me. So I said, my best friend tried to commit suicide yesterday, so I've come down to make sure they get the help they need. And he went, "Oh, I didn't need to know that much, mate." And I said, "Okay." He said, "You could have just said it was personal." And I said, "I told you twice it was personal." And here's me like fueling the argument. Usually, even if it got to that point, I would have gone, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's personal," and walked away. And like, "Oh, I know you're doing a good job, mate." Do you know what I mean? But I was like, "Oh no, I've got good ground to stand on here."
Right.
So I said, "I told you twice."
But you don't, because your best friend didn't.
No, but in terms of like, he's just contradicted himself. Right. Is what I mean.
Okay.
So I told you twice it was personal. And he went, "Oh yeah, I'm not to book anybody anyway." So why have you asked in the first place then? It's purely because you thought you were going to catch someone out and have a laugh. You can't do anything.
Well, maybe that was him floundering. Maybe he thought, "Oh, if I say that I have no authority, he won't keep making a fuss."
Well, I wasn't making a fuss.
He'll think there's no fight here.
I was leaving.
Yeah.
And he called me back over.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to... I thought it's personal would do. Apparently not. But then apparently so.
Yes.
Stupid. But anyway, things like that, or like talking on the phone to somebody, I've always been quite uncomfortable with talking to strangers on the phone. Not anymore.
Okay.
So that's nice that's happened. Do you have anything like that?
What, struggling to talk to strangers on the phone?
No, like similar change in your manner or your approach.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
How are you with strangers in those sorts of situations?
Well, on the phone, I'm always worried that I'm not going to be able to hear them properly.
Right.
That's my big anxiety on the phone.
You have to keep going, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
Okay.
I don't think I have bad hearing. I have a bit of tinnitus, a little bit.
Right.
It's not like omnipresent, it comes and goes.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just worried that I'm going to end up being that guy. I'm just like, what? What?
Right.
I think I'm okay with strangers. I think I'm one of those people who, like, if there's a pre-established dynamic, if there's an expected dynamic, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, if like, oh, you know, hello, I'm taking your audio. Your audio? I'm taking your audio away from you. You can't have audios in this climate. If I'm taking your order from you, it's like, okay, I can deal with this. Or like if you know we are having a conversation about X topic, I can deal with that. It's the moments where it's those horrible moments where like small talk occurs, where it's like, okay, there is no dynamic, there is no history to play off. We are just people in this place. And we have to like, you know, keep each other occupied. Yeah, that's where I'm like, I don't really know.
I hate
what
small
to do.
Talk.
Yeah.
For me, it's always been it so bores me. I can't even. The prospect of it boring me trumps my anxiety at nothing being said. You know, I'd rather just kind of sit in awkward silence.
Yeah.
Go, so, you know, how's your job? Because I don't care most of the time.
And yeah, I don't want to be the weather's blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to do that.
I think that's more the reason why I don't speak to new people until there's something to talk about. It's because I don't want to be that guy.
We were saying earlier, you know, one of the nice things about the podcast, one of its benefits has been, I feel like I'm able to hold court now. I can drive a conversation rather than just participate in one.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if I was sat down with a stranger, I'd be able to fill that silence.
Yeah.
With non-small talk. I was like, oh yeah, so, you know, any films you like that you've seen recently? Yeah, something like that. That's a bit above, slightly above.
Yeah, the weather.
Because it can open up, you know, something. Yeah. Or if I was feeling particularly bold. So what are your views on Black Lives Matter? I'm going to do that at some point. Just as an opening to really freak out, like when I meet a new person, like, oh, here's my friend Sam, you know, yeah, hello. Oh, what's the thing that Steve Merchant said? He said he moved in with a bunch of, like into a flat with people. He didn't know one of the people there. And he said they hadn't really talked or broken the ice. And he was doing the washing up. And Stephen Merchant walked up to him and he said, like, have you heard the good word of the Lord? Just to freak him like, oh God, no, I've moved in with like a born again Christian. Nutters, yeah. So I'll do that at some point. Just straight up like, so what are your views on Black Lives Matter? That'd be funny. It
will be until you've ruined a potential friendship.
Don't care. I've got all the friends I need now.
Okay.
I've got you, got Eddie. Yeah. I've got like one more. Maybe 2. 3 to push.
Yeah. There's something in it.
Yeah. In the middle of that, not the conversation we just had, but the one I had in Metros as well. At one point, my debating partner, she said right wing, right? But in like a derogatory context. Like the word right wing was the bad thing in that.
Right.
Oh, but that's like a right wing thing.
Yeah.
When did just right wing become a dirty thing?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Because we have to say far left.
Yeah.
You can't say left.
Yeah, we don't just say left.
Far left.
We say leftist, far left, or progressive. Those are the words we use.
Or like social justice warrior or whatever.
Yeah.
We qualify.
Not even that anymore. That's sort of...
That's kind of died in itself, isn't it? But yeah, right wing, that's enough. Right wing means Nazi, means neocon, it means all the bad things.
Yeah.
There's no scale or continuum like there is on the left. It's just right wing
just
means
right wing,
bad.
Yeah, right wing equal bad. Yeah. I don't know when that started. Like stuff like Tory. It's like, oh, he's fucking Tory.
Yeah.
Like that I get, because that's like, you know.
Well, I don't get. I mean, it's a team sport.
No, but that feels like that's a nickname that we get. Oh, the Tories.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Being conservative is different from being a Tory. I'm not a Tory, but I am a conservative.
Right. What is the difference? Just so we all know.
Difference between saying that Black Lives Matter and agreeing with the organisation Black Lives Matter. In principle, I'm conservative. I don't have to support every conservative party.
I see.
If it's a choice between the Tories or Labour, I'm obviously going to choose the Tories. But I'm not. I wouldn't identify as a Tory.
Okay.
Listen, I know much more about American politics than I do about British politics. Because Conservative, even though it's a lot more stable than Liberal, it's still different in every country. It means different things in different countries. So I'd be lying if I said I knew the full gamut of what it meant to be a Conservative in Britain. I'm much more familiar with what that would mean in America. But there are certain values in common, and I subscribe to those values: personal liberty, individual responsibility, those sorts of things.
Okay.
Where would you? I know you don't like tie your colours to the mast too much, but if you had not like right wing, because I think those are kind of redundant now as well.
Yeah.
They move so fluidly. Things that 10 years ago were liberal, proclamations are now conservative proclamations.
Yeah, exactly.
So forget that. So if you had to say you were a thing in that arena, what would you say?
I really don't know. I think I have more traditional views, generally speaking.
More conservative views.
I think so.
Yeah.
My thing is just like I don't like the people that hold those values. That's the problem. I feel like
conservatives.
No. I feel like I fall out more with people who hold left-leaning views than I do with people who hold right-leaning views.
Right.
Like people who hold right-leaning views, they can seem a bit out of touch sometimes, and they can seem a bit stuffy.
Yeah. Fuddy-duddy.
Yeah, but I prefer that to people making an enemy out of me.
Sure.
You know, like, and I know that's like an extreme thing. That's one subsect of left-leaning people. But like, you're a white cisgendered man who is not disabled.
Yes.
And I forget heterosexual.
Yeah.
Therefore, you are the enemy.
Yeah.
Like, no. Well, why have you done that? Because how the fuck do you expect me to give you the time of day now?
Well, yeah, exactly. Because
you just made an enemy of me before we've even started. I
mean, you're fairly neutral, I would say, not like across the board in terms of you're not into politics really. It's not like quite your thing.
Yeah,
there are things you believe, obviously, but it's not really doesn't matter to you all that much. And the fact that you just said that, like they're making an enemy out of me, how do you expect me to listen to you? I think you represent most people. I think you represent the unspoken silent majority.
Okay,
that are like, because being called a racist is the pretty much most despicable thing you can be called in public life now.
Socially speaking,
yeah. Racist or paedophile, like those are the two.
Yeah.
I understand at the beginning, it's like, oh, you're a racist. Like, I better not. That's quite a big accusation. I better not, tread on anyone's toes. I'll keep my head down.
Yeah.
You can only do that for so long before those same people go, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we're reaching that. I think we are going to reach that soon, I think, with BLM and... God, I hope so, anyway. Do you have anything else?
No. It's the banging on the house.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking we're... that feels like a decent place to end it, that discussion, doesn't it?
Yes.
Like we had the thing to take away from today's episode.
That's that then.
All right then.
Okay.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.